back, stop playing with it.
Morning guys, so today is day one of the actual conference, so it will be a bunch of presentations today. I present tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned.
Professor of education, which I don't say this very often, but I'll say it to this room given the demographic of the room. I'm the first and only person of Black and African American descent to ever be a distinguished professor at San Diego State. Which is celebratory but also sad, right? If we're keeping it real. And then in 2018, a new president came to San Diego State, and I joined the administration as the Chief Diversity Officer, telling myself that I would never, by the way, be a Chief Diversity Officer, and ended up being one. And then for the past 2 years, I've also had the Division of Campus Diversity and the Division of Student Affairs. So basically have 2 divisions that we operate trying to support our students. And then of course, what happened in 2020, we think about COVID-19, if we think about the racial strife, and so you can imagine having both student affairs and campus diversity, it's been live. And so what we try to do is to really create, through the work that we do, use research to inform the strategies and practices that we have to better support our students through very difficult times. If anybody's on Twitter, Instagram, you can, there's my handle if you want to connect. And then the last thing I'd say is that I'm part of the Community College Equity Assessment Lab, as was mentioned. And the lab essentially is a research and practice center. We partner with community colleges across the country to support them in better building the capacity of educators to advance outcomes for students, particularly students of color. Let me tell you why that's important. So, one of the things that you learn early on when you go into academe is that most professors aren't trained to teach, right? So you think about your average professor in, let's say, biology in a community college. They got a bachelor's degree in biology. They worked in industry for several years, got a master's degree, and maybe they have a PhD, I'm not sure, but let's say that they have a PhD. No training on how to teach. They're subject matter experts. They're great when it comes to biology, but they may not be great when it comes to people, or teaching and learning, or relationship building, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so what happens is they go into the classroom without any real preparation to do what they're doing. And so what do? They teach how they were taught. They think about, what was a good professor that I had? Let me try to mimic what that looks like. And what they oftentimes do is they replicate the same structures of inequity that result in disparate outcomes for students of color, because they teach how they were taught. And how they were taught is typically not how our students of color learn. Provide interventions to try to change those outcomes, which is very different from the about racial microaggressions leading to.
Oh my God, where did you find that? So earlier this morning was our first day of presentations, period. So half the people went this morning. It's still presentations in the afternoon. So right now we just resting basically until the afternoon stuff start. They gave us breakfast and lunch. And so yeah, later on we might go to a museum or aquarium, something like that. So y'all stay tuned. y'all. So we're supposed to be going to the observatory, but there's so many people out here. I don't know. This is slim to none. I don't think we gonna get in. But this view is kind of high. I'm afraid of heights. It's look a little scary. But I'm gonna take some videos of the view. I mean, yeah, still shoes. We're following some trail. I don't know, I'm scared because we look over here and we're off the cliff. I feel like we camping. Oh no, Lord. Oh Lord. Because I looked over there. I'm scared. Okay, let me just not look over there. Let me just stay focused to the ground. I feel like we at the beach.
Stay close, Miranda. That's what I'm talking about, Cat. I should see if people running down this hill.
Running?
Yeah.
It's a lot of dirt.
This would be a good trail to run by, you know, if they had a gate right there, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but not at night.
Yeah, definitely not.
This nice city view. This is why we walked up here. I'm still scared. But footage. Period. So this is day 2 of the conference. Today is my presentation day, so wish me luck, y'all. But yeah, so I'm finna get breakfast now. And my presentation is at 9:30 and it's like 8 right now. So y'all stay tuned. I might not get footage of my presentation, but I'll still like record other people's presentations and just the stuff we're doing today. We're supposed to be going to Grammy's like museum later, so y'all stay tuned to that.
With a bachelor's degree, you're about to have one. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a limbo state of, you know, you're overeducated for a lot of jobs and you're undereducated for a lot of other jobs. And so I was, you know, like, what do? I just need to pay the rent. So I started as a waitress. I'm really bad at it. I forgot people's orders all the time. I had to rush back to the table. What was that you ordered? Yeah, not good. I did not make a lot of money, so I couldn't do that very long. I couldn't pay my bills. So thankfully, my dad had a cousin who knew someone who needed a research assistant in their lab at the VA Medical Center. And I had moved back down to Los Angeles with my roommate, and the VA Medical Center was right up there in the valley. And so I went and interviewed, and they had me do this test where I had to look at a bunch of squiggly lines on a paper and see what state the cat was in, right? Whether they were in REM sleep or slower sleep. And it was fun because it was like a puzzle. So, you know, I was like, okay, well, this is the state, this is the state. And I passed apparently. But on my way out of the building, another guy grabbed me from another researcher and said, hey, come here. And he said, you know, he gave me a little interview too, and he said, you're hired right now. And the other guy took a week, so I'm like, I need a job. So I took the first job that hired me, and that was a guy who was working on a project that he had convinced the Air Force to fund, which looked at the brainwaves of pilots, Air Force pilots, test pilots, to see whether they were doing really well or doing poorly. The Air Force wanted to be able to tell if someone were going unconscious in a hygiene maneuver to see if they could switch to autopilot before someone actually, you know, went unconscious and they lost the pilot of the plane. So we hooked up the brains of test pilots, and we came up with the very first portable EEG system, so I'm really proud of that. And then recorded them while they did low altitude missions at Edwards Air Force Base, which is just not too far from here. And I got to learn how to egress from a plane, and how to parachute out of a plane, which is something I would never ever do unless the plane were on fire and headed for the ground, because I am a total whip about those things. But it was a lot of fun, and that was my first introduction to research. I didn't do research while I was at Stanford. I had no idea that someone could be paid as an undergrad to do research, so I just didn't do it. I worked at a pizza corner, I worked at a coffee shop, I did house cleaning in the summer. I did a lot of different things, but I never worked in a research lab.
Much earlier, because of carrying this out on my own, than we're walking across mountains, mountains to build these two. So then you look at community. So you look at the social practices. So in the new freedom, the social practices we're working on,
So now we want to take you to the vehicle to possibly move by itself. When you're driving the car, you rarely just have one person jumping into the vehicle.
So then, have you changed that data point?
People in the classes and approaches and intervention.
Hey y'all, so I added some snippets of other people presenting. They had some really interesting and good topics, and I was so like happy to see other people's interests and stuff like that. I feel like it's important to network and for like us to learn about new stuff. So it was good. My presentation was an oral presentation, so it was like in a room, and there was 3 of us, and we all had 10 minutes apiece, and then it was time for questions and stuff like that. I feel like the presentation went good overall. I was a little nervous, but it went good. I'm glad that I did it actually, because this is my first time doing, look at the TV in the background. This is my first time doing like a research presentation. I haven't did a presentation honestly like in person since COVID started, so it's been a long time, but it was good. I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad I came, and just to be able to build my portfolio and get some experience. So period. Right now I'm finna go to lunch. I don't know where, but we'll see where life drifts us. This is low-key kind of sweet. He's sitting down. Don't play with that dude. We here trying to get food, and the line is ridiculous everywhere. This is crazy. I know that line. The line wrap around the store. Y'all are in line for Panda? Whoa, that is crazy. We will never get food.
That's a separate one.
That is crazy.
We could have DoorDash this Panda.
On me. Y'all, this is the line. Like the restaurant is all the way up there. This is crazy. From here all the way back here for Panda Express. Just ridiculous. So I'm back in my room. I ended up getting the Panda. The line was like ridiculously long, but it was like everybody from the conference, which I think it's like over 1,000 kids, all at one time trying to get food. I thought it was gonna take longer than an hour, but it didn't. It took like 40 minutes maybe. So yeah, I'm finna go see one more person from my group present at 1:30. And then I think we're free for the day until the other stuff later on. So yeah, so all of the academic stuff is kind of over. We're supposed to be going to take that little Grammys tour or whatever. I low-key took a nap, y'all, and I was sick because I gotta get up. And I'm not gonna be like that because it's gonna be fun, but I'm tired, low-key. But y'all stay tuned. Y'all, I just had to add, I don't know if it's just me, but do y'all ever sometimes be having those naps where it's like you barely got time to take a nap and then you gotta get back up because it's time to go? Those be the best naps. And I don't even take naps, but the best. I'm almost in a deep sleep, period.